supersaturated or metastable expansion of steam in a nozzle. When steam flows through a nozzle, it would normally be expected that the discharge of steam through the nozzle would be slightly less than the theoretical value. But it has been observed during experiments on flow of wet steam that the discharge is slightly greater than the calculated by formula. This phenomena is explained as follows. The converging part of the nozzle is so short and the steam velocity is so high that the molecules of steam have insufficient time to collect and form droplets so that normal condensation does not take place. Such rapid expansion is said to be metastable and produces a supersaturated state. In this state of supersaturation, the steam is undercooled to a temperature less than that corresponding to its pressure. Consequently, the density of steam increases and hence the weight of discharge. Professor Wilson, through his experiments, showed that dry saturated steam, when suddenly expanded in the absence of dust, does not condense until its density is about 8 times that of the saturated vapor of the same pressure. This effect is discussed in next slide. Refer to figure here. The point 1 represents initial state of the steam. Okay, you can see point 1 here. Okay, in this diagram, okay, this is the point 1. The point 1 represents initial state of the steam. The steam expands isentropically without any condensation to point 2 up to here. 2 being on the superheat constant pressure curve AB. This point 2 is on constant pressure line, okay, this AB line. Then at point 2 the limit of supersaturation is reached. Okay, at this point limit of supersaturation is reached and steam reverts to its normal condition at 3 at the same enthalpy value as 2. Here and here the enthalpy value will be same and at the same pressure on the same pressure line. The steam continues expanding isentropically to a lower pressure to point 4 instead of 4 dash, which would have been reached if thermal equilibrium had been maintained. Consequently, enthalpy drop is reduced and the condition of the final steam is improved. The limiting condition of undercooling, at which condensation commences and is assumed to restore conditions of normal thermal equilibrium, is called the Wilson line. It may be noted that when metastable conditions prevail, the HS chart or HS diagram should not be used and the expansion must be considered to follow the law PV to the power 1.3 equal to C, that is with the index of expansion for supersaturated steam. Thus, enthalpy drop, which is equal to n by n minus 1 into P1 B1 multiplied by 1 minus P2 by P1 to the power n minus 1 by 1, n by n minus 1 by n. So this formula we need to use. The relationship T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 to the power n minus 1 by n may be used to calculate a supercooled temperature. The degree of undercooling is then the difference between the saturation temperature and the supercooled temperature. Effect of supersaturation. In a nozzle in which supersaturation occurs, the effects may be summarized as follows. There is an increase in the entropy and specific volume of steam. The heat drop is reduced below that for normal equilibrium. As a consequence, the exit velocity of steam is reduced. Since the condensation does not take place during supersaturated expansion, so the temperature at which the supersaturation occurs will be less than the saturation temperature corresponding to the pressure. Therefore, density of supersaturated steam will be more than that for the equilibrium conditions, which gives the increase in the mass of steam discharged. I repeat, therefore, the density of supersaturated steam will be more than that for the equilibrium conditions, which gives the increase in the mass of steam discharged. Then the dryness fraction of steam is improved. The problems on supersaturated flows cannot be solved by molar chart unless Wilson line is drawn on it. Very important concept to be learned. The problems on supersaturated flow cannot be solved by molar chart unless Wilson line is drawn on it. The velocity of steam at the end of expansion is found by using the following relation you can observe here. Okay, this is about the metastable or supersaturated condition of steam in a nozzle. General relationship between area, velocity and pressure in a nozzle flow. Okay, in figure 18.5, which is available here, is shown a nozzle in which a steady and an isentropic flow is taking place. Let us consider two transverse plane section. Okay, two transverse plane section we can see here at a distance delta x apart, assuming that the nozzle is running full and the velocity is uniform across any section. Okay, this is the inlet, outlet and converging part and diverging part you can see here. And in this nozzle I have considered two transverse plane section which are delta x apart. And using continuity equation we know this continuity equation, mass flow rate is m is equal to area considered or area of cross section which we have considered, and c is the velocity of steam at the point of consideration, and small v is the specific volume at that point. Then at this section, at this transverse section, then the area becomes a plus delta a, and c becomes c plus delta c divided by specific volume becomes v plus delta v. Change in the volume, small change in the volume, change in velocity and change in area. Okay, we need to add. Then if you interchange or rewrite the equation, this continuity equation, we can get this. And if you keep on simplifying and rewriting, and you continue, and finally this becomes delta a by a plus delta c by c minus delta v by v, which is equal to 0. And in limits, dA by a plus dc by c minus dB by b, which is equal to 0 in differential form. Since the flow is isentropic, it follows PV to the power gamma, which is equal to constant. This is what the expression, because adiabatic process. Then if you apply log to this expression, you will get this. If you apply log on both sides, you will get this, where k is constant. Differentiating this and dividing by PV, we get, differentiating this equation and dividing by PV, you will get this equation, which is dV by V, which is equal to minus 1 by gamma into dP by P. Also from isentropic flow we have from the momentum equation. So this equation we need to remember. Velocity c into change in velocity, which is equal to minus of v into dP. And if you rewrite, you will get this equation. Dividing both sides by c square, you will get. By substituting these values in equation 18.6, we get dA by a plus minus v dP by c square minus 1 by gamma dP by P, which is equal to 0. As soon as c reaches the value cs, that is m equal to 1, Mach number equal to 1, then change in area with respect to A is 0. The throat of the nozzle is reached. When c is greater than cs, that is m is greater than 1, then dA by A must be positive. This corresponds to the divergent part of the nozzle. Then similarly case 2, decelerated flow, dP by P is positive. When dP by P is positive, it is a diffuser. This applies to diffuser in which kinetic energy of flow is converted into pressure energy. So case 1 and case 2, if c is less than cs, then Mach number is less than 1. Here dA by A must be positive, that is the diffuser must be divergent type. And case 2, if c is greater than cs, m is greater than 1. Here dA by A must be negative, that is the diffuser must be of converging type. These forms are summarized in table 18.6. You can see here. In this table, there are two types of flow we will have: subsonic and supersonic. Subsonic means Mach number is less than 1. Supersonic means Mach number is more than 1. Okay. If dP by P, this ratio is negative, then it is a nozzle. If dP by P is positive, it is a diffuser. Okay. For subsonic, it is a convergent nozzle if dP by P is negative, and it is it is divergent. In supersonic, it is divergent for dP by P and convergent for dP by P is positive.